We're in this really weird moment with AI, right? On the one hand, these things are achieving superhuman feats, but on the other, they can feel surprisingly clumsy, almost brittle. So, in this explainer, we're going to unpack that exact paradox, and we'll be leaning on some amazing insights from one of AI's true pioneers, Ilya Sutskever. All right, so here's the big question, the real head scratcher. How can an AI that aces humanity's hardest exams get stuck in a simple, dumb loop that a person would never, ever fall for? I mean, how is that possible? It's a question that's honestly baffling even the folks who build these things. And this disconnect, it's not just theoretical. Ilya Sutskever gives this perfect example. Imagine you ask a coding AI to fix a bug. It goes, sure, and in fixing it, it just creates a brand new bug. So you point that out, and it apologizes, oh, my mistake. And then it just puts the original bug back in. It gets totally stuck, just bouncing back and forth between two mistakes. Now that's not a sign of real smarts, right? That tells you something really fundamental is missing under the hood.
Okay, so to figure out how we ended up here, we've got to rewind a little bit. We need to look at the last few years, which Sutskever calls the age of scaling. And for a while there, the recipe for making better AI seemed almost laughably simple.
Yeah, Sutskever really breaks down recent history into these distinct eras. You had this initial first stage of research, and then we slammed right into the age of scaling. This was when that simple, powerful recipe just took over. The entire industry basically went all in on it. But here's the thing, that era, it's winding down. We're right on the edge of what looks like a brand new age of research.
And what was that simple, powerful recipe? It was this. You just get more computers, you throw mountains of data at the problem, and boom, predictably better AI. I mean, for the big tech companies, this was an absolute dream come true. It was a low-risk, high-reward way to pour in money and know, for sure, you were going to get progress on the other side.
But that predictable gravy train is starting to slow down. That simple recipe of just add more is starting to hit a wall. And this brings us to a really, really powerful analogy that Sutskever uses to explain why. He asks us to picture two students, okay? Both of them have the same goal. They want to become the absolute best competitive programmer in the world. But their approach to getting there, totally different. Say you've got student number one. This one is all about brute force, just pure grind. We're talking 10,000 hours of practice, memorizing every single problem and solution they can get their hands on. Then you've got student number two. They only practice for, say, 100 hours, but they've just got that spark, that it factor. They have a real intuitive feel for it. Now, which one do you bet on for a better long-term career? It's going to be the second one, right? No contest.
And here's the punchline. Sutskever says that today's AI models, they are exactly like that first student. They're incredible memorizers, just off the charts. They've been trained on an amount of data that's almost impossible to comprehend. They've seen all the answers to the test, so to speak, but that's also their biggest weakness. All that knowledge is brittle. It doesn't generalize. It doesn't stretch to fit new situations they haven't seen before.
And that is exactly why we're moving past this age of just scaling things up. The whole industry is waking up to the fact that to get to that next level, we can't just keep cramming more facts into our overtrained student. We've actually got to go back to the drawing board and rethink how it learns. The old thinking was, hey, let's just make the models 100 times bigger. That'll solve everything. Well, that idea is really starting to fade. Because people are realizing that a bigger model, even a 100x bigger model, doesn't necessarily fix that core problem of shallow, brittle understanding. So the focus is shifting. It's moving back to these huge fundamental questions, like how do we build models that can truly generalize their knowledge the way you and I do? How can they learn continuously from new experiences instead of needing to be retrained from scratch? And the big one, how do we actually understand and then replicate that it factor, that spark of real understanding in code? And this quote just nails it. It perfectly captures where we are right now. So it's back to the age of research again, just with big computers. See, it's not that the scale and the massive computers are going away, not at all. It's just that now they're becoming the tools for a new, much more ambitious era of fundamental research, instead of being seen as the solution itself. And make no mistake, this isn't just some academic debate about getting a few extra points on a benchmark test. Cracking this problem of generalization has massive, profound implications for the entire future of AI. Here's why it's so critical. If you can actually solve generalization, you get models that learn in a robust, reliable way. And that reliability, That is the absolute bedrock for building any future superintelligent systems that we can actually trust. Systems that are safe and truly aligned with what we want them to do. If you don't have generalization, you're basically building a skyscraper on a foundation of sand.
So, just to be super clear, when we say generalization, this is what we're talking about. It's not just about an AI memorizing its training data. It's about that AI being able to distill real principles from that data, principles it can then apply flexibly, creatively, to brand new problems it has never, ever seen before. It is the crucial difference between just knowing a bunch of facts and truly understanding.
So, the big takeaway here is this. The whole game is changing. The brute force era of just scaling everything up is giving way to a much deeper, more profound search. It's a search for the core principles of learning that give us humans our incredible adaptability. The race isn't just about who can build the biggest model anymore. It's about who can be the first to capture that spark of genuine understanding. And when someone finally does, well, that's when everything changes.